Lord of Omens, give me sight beyond sight. Beyond sight. Beyond sight.
That is our girl Alexa or Alexis.
I really hope that the audio is working because
It's probably not, so we're just
it's
talking.
probably not. Yeah, we're just talking into thin air. But anyways, it's another episode of Sight Beyond Sight. Today we're going to talk about a few things, but we'll start with I guess the funnest one would be Squid Games.
Motherfucking this goddamn
And,
funnest one.
Yeah.
What? That's a real word.
Yeah,
Funnest.
that's horrible sentence.
So you should have said the most fun one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I should have said that.
English is not our first
Well,
language. Yeah.
English is their first language. Ebonics is my
I'm
first
trying to give you an
language.
excuse.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm not gonna say that like I'm perfect. Ebonics is my first, like, I naturally just speak ghetto. But I even heard that and was like, that was disgusting.
They play is like they have, it must be a Korean game. I've never seen this before. They have 2 envelopes and you have to like hit the envelopes and whatever.
Yeah,
so
I
they
feel like I've
get
seen that before, to be honest.
really
Yeah, it looked very like oddly familiar.
okay.
Yeah, I've probably
You
seen it on
probably did it
something
in
else. Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I definitely seen some shit like that.
So then they convince people, they give them a card and they said, call this number and you could play this other game and you could win a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. So this guy, and it's following the story of this one guy who is an intense gambler, has a daughter, used to be married, lost his job. He's fell on hard times. He's kind of really pitiful, like very fucking pitiful. He goes to the games and the games have, I think they start off with a ridiculous amount of people. It's Asia. It's a lot of people.
It's like almost like what you could say like 1,500 just to be nice. Let's do like something simple, like just a roundabout number. Like you have 1,500 people in the room.
no,
Yeah.
I think it was.
There was a lot more.
I think he was the last one.
He was the last one, but his number didn't represent that really.
Yes, it did.
Did it really?
Yeah, 456.
Oh, so he was for something then. All right. Yeah.
So there was 456 people and they're all in this one room, which is like an auditorium, right? They get picked up, they get in a van, the gas comes into the van, everybody passes out until they get to this place. And nobody knows where they are. And they're in this big, it looks like a gymnasium with like just stacked up bunk beds.
Yeah.
All over the place. And they play games essentially. And they think that they're playing like regular games until they realize that their life is at stake. And it kind of goes on and there's game after game after game. And the stakes get higher and higher and more dangerous. And then you find out that there's some rich VIPs that watch the games.
Can we call them white gay Americans?
Not all of them were gay and not all of them were Americans. There was a French guy in there.
Okay. I don't care about their language.
And their main guy was an Asian one.
And the main guy was an Asian.
Stop trying to blame
How
white
you
people all
figure
the
the
time.
main guy was Asian? What do you mean, like the main person at
Did
the
you watch the whole
end?
thing?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you mean him?
Yeah, he
Okay.
started it.
Nah, I just wanted to make sure what you meant by
Right,
that.
right. So
I feel like he was trying to not to cut you over,
Yeah.
but he was trying to be like, I just want to see if he's culturally appropriate. Right now.
so it just basically goes, oh, and at the same time, while all that's happening, there's a police officer that's looking for his missing brother that he knows is involved in this somehow, or was maybe part of the games or something, and he's searching for the brother. So it's a very interesting take on I guess our social the way that people actually like see other people, how they interact with other people. It's just selfishness
It made me 100% right about people.
I've always
Honestly.
said this. People have
It
always
did.
religious people always said there's always innate good in people, and I think it's the opposite. I think when the shit hits the fan, people are selfish. They are self-centered,
And
and they
that's
will
not
do
good.
anything.
Yeah, that's evil.
It's survival of the fittest. It's a natural thing. I'm not saying that. Yeah, people are pieces of shit because COVID shows that.
Yeah.
Our political climate shows that people are pieces of shit by
Toilet paper
nature.
showed that. Yeah. Like, honestly, like we lived in that world. Like,
Yeah.
that's why I think, like, honestly, it should be fun for people to watch it. Like, you should watch it.
Yes.
If you remember just
And
living
it's-
throughout the pandemic, think about how
Yeah.
selfish we are.
And it's
And then
very,
watch
it's very, it's not gory. Like, yes, a lot of people die and
It's-
there's like
yeah,
all this
but
stuff, but
it's
it's
not
not like the traditional Asian gore fest, where they
Yeah.
do things that are like, oh my God, I'm going to throw up, like
Yeah,
they
no.
really push the envelope usually, but this is very tame.
It was, yeah, and it was good. Like, the little, like, the
Oh,
way
and
they showed the
there's no-
blood and shit was good.
and there's no
Yeah.
subtitles. Everything's dubbed.
Yeah, dubbed in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even though you could watch it honestly with the subtitles and not have the lip delay,
Yeah.
if you dislike that, because I know some people don't like it. I watch kung fu flicks, so
Yeah. So, but it to me, I thought it was a very well written show.
Mm.
I thought that certain things kind of like just annoyed me, but it could have just been like a more, the cultural differences and stuff that like, why would you do this or why would you do that? Or like, or personality things. Like one of the girls in it, I wanted to shoot her through the screen. Like, why is nobody shooting her in the face right now?
all right, so you thought she was more annoying than the guy that she ended up fucking
In the
and
bathroom?
dying? Yeah.
No, I could deal with a douchebag guy.
I
He
wanted to
didn't really
kill
talk.
him every chance I could think of.
Yeah.
No,
Honestly.
her voice was so piercing into my soul that I just,
Because the way,
my
all right, yeah, the way she
God.
talked, I'll give you that. Her voice will be annoying in that aspect. But I was just thinking, like in the game and everything, it was.
He would be the first to go.
I had to kill you because you're
Yeah.
if you
If
had
you're
that
an
one
asshole.
once
Yeah.
you get that chance over me, you're going to kill me. So I
Yeah.
had to kill you first.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
Yes. And part of the
and
They-
she would be second, definitely.
Yes.
yeah,
'Cause she-
yeah.
part of the
Traitor.
game too was like they let everybody do whatever pretty much they wanted as long as they followed the rules to the
Mhm.
game.
Mm.
So after the first game, was it the first game? After the first
What?
game, all
Was-
hell breaks loose. At
No, it's basically
Or was
after
it
they
the
come.
second game?
It's after the second game. After they do the cookie shit, the licking it. They go in
Oh.
there and then
No, that was honey.
the honeycomb. My
Yeah.
fault. And then they basically are in there and they start to realize like, yo, why the fuck? We might as well just kill.
Okay, because they
yeah.
realized for all the dead people, more money gets
Mhm.
added to the pot. So the less people they are, the more money falls into the pot, the more opportunity they have for the next game to win.
Basically.
Right?
Yeah.
So then it becomes an all-out shit show. Once the lights go off, it was prison.
Mhm.
It was fucking-
Oz.
It was Oz. People were shanking people with like hitting people with like metal, like the pieces of the bunk beds and shit.
Yeah, they got creative. I give them that. They really did get
They
creative.
did.
They got creative. Because I would have pushed a nigga off that bump bed to out of the road. I'm like, ah! And it's like, yes, easy kill.
And then there's alliances that form and then unform and then so like a lot of it was very
It had a good 3-story aspect if you already think about the main guy, the cop guy, and then you could say almost any other person you could pretty put in there.
yeah
random.
and then they had like
Yeah.
all the sub people that are like in this like one group of I'll say kind of friends
Yeah.
and but you really realize, like, no matter what people are going through at the end, because even the main character
Look
which
what
they
happened with his
portray as
BFF.
like almost like a
Yeah.
simpleton, but like a kind simpleton
Mhm.
became a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Well, he
when,
had
when
to.
push came to shove,
had
he
to,
became
yeah.
a piece of shit. And it was just, and you always knew that he was just one of those people that you just knew that in life he would never succeed because he was so fucking selfish
Yeah.
that he would never,
Yeah.
he would step over somebody on the floor who needed help just to
Mhm.
like grab the $20 in the pocket.
Basically.
But when he was faced with fear, I think he like either A, found somebody to cling on to, or B, he kind of took advantage of the vulnerable. Does that make sense?
It
Yeah.
does, because that's how they displayed it. When you watch it, you see it, and it's like at the point when I was watching, I ain't gonna even lie, I was there like, fuck yeah, nigga. Like you see, he's not remembering. Like fuck it, yo, I gotta live. You're gonna die regardless.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this and try to keep going. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy, but it's real shit. Like
Yeah.
I don't. Anybody who says
survive that motherfucker.
like
whoa.
yo, if you don't understand, like honestly, like yo, this is what you got to do.
Yeah.
To then that's the whole shit. Like
Yeah.
it was like I like the whole like when they homeboy was like, oh, the third rule, you could vote to stay or go.
Yeah.
That whole shit, because that really was like a good test of who would really be and and then see like, oh, now you ain't really want to do it, but you know the group around you aspect, like
Yeah.
you don't
Peer
want to be the
pressure.
outcast in a way.
It
Yeah.
was peer
Yeah.
pressure type of stuff.
So
Yeah.
it was an interesting, like I don't know, I love fucking with people's heads. So psychologically, it's awesome.
Yeah,
its own
it
way.
was a very, very cool site.
Yeah, like,
Yeah. It was almost like a what would you do scenario.
Mhm, yeah.
Almost
Yeah.
everything.
You know,
But I think what caught me, and I think there was genius of the movie to do it, was the red light, green light, because it's such a simple.
that
I
the
love
good start of
that.
it. That's
Yeah.
a great
That's a
start.
great-
Great
Yeah.
start
But you
of
know
it.
what's
Yes.
so funny too? Because you kind of don't think about like what are the childhood games of other countries, right?
All
Because
right.
not every country is gonna have the same.
Yeah.
But the fact that like us over here and them way over there on the other side of the world played the same exact game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When they were children, then we
Mhm.
did, and they did have different
Yeah.
games. There were a couple different games that they
Cool.
played.
Mhm.
That
Squid Game.
Nah, but I gotta say, I will say, I gotta ask Nick because I know Nick as I kind of wanted them to play Shongi, the Chogi shit, the shit with the that we watching the anime that they do in Hunter x Hunter and
Yeah.
like
but that might be Japanese. That might
no,
be
but that they said they play it. They say it, they
Oh.
said it in it.
Mhm.
But the thing that made it interesting to me is that they kept, every time they mentioned it,
Yeah.
they said the females play it better than the guys.
Oh,
So it made it because
yes.
I don't know how far you got on Hunter x Hunter, but real quick, just side nerd shit. The girl that's playing with the king, the Ant King,
Yeah.
it's a girl basically, but everybody thinks it's a boy, but it's
Yeah.
actually a girl, and she's like a beast in it.
Yeah.
And so like that's I'm saying that, and that made me be like,
And they said it's a bunch
why
of
are
fun.
girls better? Yeah, at
Yeah.
this one
Just
thing.
like the
Yeah.
girls are better at like double dutch, and girls are
I,
better
yeah,
at like hopscotch, and
But it's a
you know,
board
things like
game.
that.
Like, it's like a checkers type of game. So I don't know. Like I just gotta learn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be an interesting game to learn.
Yeah.
yeah. But I think that and the fact, and this, I don't know if this is part of the culture thing
Mm.
too, but they shitted on women constantly.
Well, yeah, that's
Constantly.
why look where they're at.
And if the one girl didn't get hurt, she would have killed both of them. Not even a second thought. It
honestly,
would've been
I
like-
was kind of
she was
hoping.
like,
Yeah.
she would have been like, fuck the steak dinner. Fwa, fwa, done.
I honestly was kind of would have not been mad if she would have won. Like
Yeah.
there was something about her that I liked, that I was like that one
Because she's
character that
you, but a female. That's
and
why.
she is kind of fucking cute. So
Yeah.
I was, but no, I
Her
like
and
the
the
way
girl-
she did everything.
But
Yeah.
her and the girl that she wound up hanging out with
Mhm.
were very similar. And she
Yeah,
picked
yeah.
her because she just was chilling all by herself,
Basically.
like fucking motherfuckers. You
But
know?
that was, and nobody's seen her there. She literally just survived by. Once she got into the crew, and this is like a funny shit. It's always when you end up in a pack that's when you end up weak, like for some
Yeah.
fucking weird reason.
Yeah.
Sometimes that
But
happens
no,
to people.
but what
Not
happened to
everybody,
her-
but
no,
just
but
people.
what happened to her was just like a happenstance.
But she ended
Oh,
up
you mean the
being a
other-
friend. Like she made a somewhat friend when they decided to work together,
Oh, you're talking
and
about
then
the
look
one.
what happened when
You're
they.
talking about that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
like that made it fucking weird. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
But they
That-
did that shit on purpose. 'Cause everybody was like, "Oh,
Mm.
we need a partner," blah blah blah.
Yeah,
and it was
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, "Oh, but now you're going to be against your partner," and
Mhm.
everybody had that fuck
Yeah.
kind of moment.
You know, I think the game that interests me the most was the tug of war. because I was just like,
Strength
I want,
contest.
yeah,
No,
because
it's not a strength contest.
But I'm just saying,
That's
that's
the
why I
point of
said, like,
Yeah.
like,
because
But
I
it
like
was
how they're
so-
just
Yeah.
like lean back first and
Yeah.
let them wind out, and then you do the and I was just like, I wonder if that really does work
It
that
does.
well.
Actually, it's
Yeah.
so funny because Angelo, when he was a lifeguard on Jones Beach, they
Mm.
used to do lifeguard contests and stuff. And one of the things that they did was tug of war. And he said, it's not about how many strong people you have on your team, it's strategy. And what he used to do is, and this was before he was a big guy, you know, but he was always strong. So he would be like the anchor.
all right.
So he would wrap the rope around his waist and he would just sit.
Yeah, yeah.
And literally just all he did was sit back and step back, sit back, step back.
Just
And then
little things,
everybody in
yeah.
the front
Mhm.
would help him pull. But if they couldn't move him,
Yeah,
they weren't moving that rope.
That makes sense. No, the thing is, like, I get it because I played tug of war a couple of times, like in my life, but
Mhm.
it isn't really like it usually is like just depending, like, because honestly, it's the little shit like slipping. Like,
Yeah.
who are you good? Are your legs strong? Are
Yeah.
you built like in that
And-
aspect?
and
like, there's
your
a lot
hand
to
grip-
it.
and your
Yeah,
hand grip
there's
is
a
all
lot
leverage
to
too.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember during boot camp one time we played tug of war because we had
Mhm.
like the battle ropes. So we played tug of war. And if we didn't have it even, either Jamel or Danny would be on like the
All right.
uneven side, and he'd be like, all right, I'll kind of make it so that, but they made it so that neither side could gain. The funny fucking thing is, as soon as, and they weren't really trying, but as
Mm.
soon as they let go, everybody fell. And I was
Yeah.
like, you guys are pulling everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, that's disgusting,
That's
the
just
amount
what
of
it is.
power that is.
yeah, that's crazy.
It's
But,
all about that shit. I gotta get my legs back to normal.
God
God damn.
Squats,
Yeah.
bitch, squats.
It's been so long. Well, I miss it. Like, I know I have no leg strength like the way I used to.
Yeah.
And
No, mine is running. I hate running. I've
Yeah.
always hated running. But after COVID, it was even worse because everything got fucked up.
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah. I messed up everybody's lives.
Anyway, so overall,
Yeah, ratings.
I think that
And
as a movie,
it's not a movie, it's a series,
series.
and it's not really horror. It's kind of like a
drama is
like a drama thriller kind of
What
thing.
would you call it?
huh? Wait, what did I call
What
it?
category would you put this in? Like
It's
a drama thriller?
suspense
series?
drama thriller.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suspense, yeah.
Because it's suspenseful.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
I think I'm gonna give it a 9. There were certain things that got kind of slow, or like I didn't think they really needed to put in there.
Mhm.
But it's a series, so they had to fill time. I get that.
Mhm.
But I think I give it a 9.
All right. Yeah, I think I'll give it an 8. And not that I thought anything was particularly bad. I didn't think it was that slow to me. The only thing is I guessed the end. Like I already knew that the old man was the guy after that game at the
Marbles.
marble game, because it was just
You
like,
thought that
oh,
was
you
Marvel?
did the
No,
we did
and
the
I
typical-
guessed who the brother was. I guessed who the brother was as
I-
soon as the
yeah.
police officer.
He knew the bullet shit. As soon as that happened, once he knew all the shit about the
No,
guns.
you know when
All right.
when I figured it out when he started looking through the book
Okay.
and he saw that he was a winner.
Oh, from the picture shit. I think it
Now,
was.
remember the books when he was going through all the books to try to find his brother?
Oh, you talking about the other one? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he found the list of winners
All right.
and he saw his brother's name on the winners, and I was like,
Right.
oh, okay, I
Yeah.
get it.
Mm.
And
I get
the thing that gave it away for me as the old man, because there was two things when they first showed the guys that came in with the hats,
Yeah.
and they showed the guy. I was watching him because he was just sitting down.
Mm.
And I was like, he kind of looks like an old man.
Mm.
And then when he did the marble thing, he was the one death that they didn't show. He was one of the main characters, and they showed it off screen, him dying.
Yeah.
And I was like, they didn't even kill him.
Well,
So
yeah.
right away, I was just like, no, they didn't kill him.
That's basically
So
the
he
main
was
part
just like-
that I was like, they didn't show him. I was like, out of all shit. Like,
Yeah,
so
but yeah, definitely. But it was a high. 8 is a good number, I think.
nah, yeah, it's definitely. I'll give it like maybe 8.5, anything, and that's only because of my little extra like of it, like
Yeah.
that I have my own personal shit.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I could say 8.5. Like, it's something that honestly I kind of wanted to rewatch, but I'm like, oh shit, we have other shit that we could watch that's similar.
Yeah.
So it's like now I gotta watch those. But
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna rewatch it again just off of just enjoyment.
Yeah, I
Did
think
you-
I think
Like-
Asian film has really picked up again.
Mm.
Like there was like that in what was it, the early 2000s, or
You with the horror movies?
not
That's-
just horror, but like like there were a lot of like Asian films that kind of like
Ong Bak and all that.
yeah,
you know?
like that kind of like oh
Well,
wow.
it goes-
Yeah,
You're like
people,
ebbs and
everybody.
flows.
I get what you
Yeah.
mean.
It
Yeah, I
goes
get
to
what
what you
mean.
said though, because it's different. It's something different. Like
Yeah.
for us at least, it's kind of like wow. Like even when it comes to horror, when it comes to action movies, it's like yo, this is total. Like when Ong Bak came out, he was the only guy besides Jackie Chan that he was doing
Because of
real
what he was
shit.
doing. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
and he
yeah,
was
yeah.
young. He wasn't.
He
like,
was and he was young. He was fit. He looked good doing it, and he was from Thailand. Like
Yeah.
it was the first time we actually see Muay Thai boxing in
Yes.
I just-
a real film.
From
I want
Thailand.
to ask a question because I was
Yeah.
thinking about all the games. The glass game. How y'all feel about that shit?
The glass game.
When you have to.
Oh,
jump?
with a jump on the glass.
Woo! First of all, I'm like the first thing I
But that
did.
now make you feel like a little ooh,
Yeah.
like because I was
No,
like,
but at the same time, I'm like, I thought the way that one guy thought, I'm like,
Mhm.
you can tell the difference. If you've
You
ever looked
can't,
at a pane
nah.
of glass and tempered glass,
something,
you can
but
tell the
sometimes it's little harder. To
Yeah,
really tell
but once they
sometimes.
shut that shit down, I was just like, but my whole
but they
thing
were
was
one thing away. Like, just I would have just risked it. Fuck
My-
it. Like, whatever.
my-
Oh, you
thing-
super jumping? You
Oh, I
super
would
jumping all the way?
have. Yes.
She's going for the super
Yeah,
jump.
because there was only one tile left. I would have
Technically,
backed up.
if you're honestly,
Yeah.
technically in that aspect, you could have hit the glass, and then if you could, like a
Yo.
double jump, like when you on track.
Easy now. That's video game.
Okay.
No, you could definitely do
about-
that. You could definitely land and jump, like push your body to at least
You have
get.
the frog hop.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah,
frog.
yeah.
I gotta watch it again because I'm not sure. So I'm just gonna ask. What about the things that were holding the glass up? Can't you just hold
Grab
on to
it.
that?
Yeah, exactly.
And
That's
it's
what I
like-
mean. Like
I-
there
I
was
love
people
you, Brian.
that
I
actually
Yeah,
do it,
you
yeah.
could have done that too, where you walked on the side on the wood pieces that the glass was connected to.
Because they never say you can't do certain things. They just go by everything they do.
Well, they
the
said
only
you had
thing,
to go on
the only thing I got worried about because I was thinking like, all right, if that was me. Say if I was the second or third guy, I'd be like, oh, which ones did they step on? Oh,
No, you have
That's
to super
that was
pay
the shit
attention.
about it. You have to count it. Yeah, because that was all counting shit. Like that's easy. That's based like
Yeah.
literally just.
But they were smart to keep going like one right behind each
You
other.
have to though.
Yeah.
That's the
Did
easiest
you-
way to do it.
Did you catch something though that I missed when I first watched? Like when I first watched, I had to go back when I heard about it. On the walls inside where they were sleeping at,
Yeah, it was all the games.
had all the games.
Mhm.
But
that
it
they
was
were gonna
covered. But it was covered up
It was-
with the bumps,
Mhm.
so nobody noticed.
Yeah,
You
when
didn't see it
everything is
until
breaking
there was,
down.
like,
Yeah,
until
yeah.
there was like 4 beds left, and then or 3 beds
Mhm.
left, or whatever. it was.
Nah, because
When
I
you
noticed that too when at
Yeah.
that part. Yeah.
I love, but the thing I also liked about it that made me laugh is how nervous everyone was getting, especially with the honey thing. They're like,
Nah, but that's what makes it even more fun. It was in there like they put that clock there and made it actually make it matter.
More
Like
intense, yeah.
yeah, like because you could do red
Like
light,
the-
green light, and just be like, I'm gonna just
But
until you
the
get
funny
past it
thing
with no
is,
clock.
with the
you know?
with the red light, green light, you could whole ass, right? You could
You
sprint.
technically can,
But
but
wait, but then you would have to be so good at the stoppage because people were getting fucking shot in the face
once
by
You
just doing like stop and then like kind of like almost falling.
that little twitch, it was a twitch.
A
As soon
little
as it caught your twitch, it was boom, you getting
Yeah.
shot. And that was the issue. Like that's why, like, because I was thinking about that in that same answer. I was like, with our power one, I was like, nah, it's smarter to
Because
take.
then if you
Is you
slide,
take a certain, you take a few big steps to close the gap
you
quicker,
bound.
but you
bound.
keep it in the aspect where your
Yeah.
body is still in control.
Yeah.
You have to keep this because this is the part where because you get maybe a nervous twitch,
Yeah.
a person's by you,
you
they
just
might
gotta,
What if
touch
you
you.
sneeze?
you just gotta follow what the old man did.
Nah, that old man did that because he knew he was gonna die and he went first. He went first and went quick. Like
And I
he
love
knew.
the fact that he
Like,
was so excited by
Yeah.
all the games. It was awesome.
like, nah, the way he went about it was smart, but you gotta know your body, you gotta know yourself to know you're not gonna once somebody gets shot, you're not gonna be like because once you even if it's a breath, it's a movement.
But
Yeah.
they got so the funny thing is some people got so used to hearing the shots, it was like background noise.
Mhm.
And then there were other people who literally jumped every time somebody.
Yeah,
Can
and
you
that's why a
imagine
lot of people died in
how
that
many
game.
People shaft themselves,
Mhm.
and they never changed clothes. They all wearing the same clothes the whole fucking time.
I would have been behind somebody the whole time, like
But
No,
that was
that was
the
what
that's
Donald did.
that's what the people that don't have the ability to like control their body. That's the smart move. Stay behind the person because if he moves, boom, he shot.
Yeah, but now
And then you
you're
just there. No, you just stay there. His body's on you. And then as soon as the shit turns around, you throw him off you. You get up,
Yeah.
get to position. Boom.
and falling. That's
Like-
the worst position to be in.
Yeah.
Do you think there would have been a different outcome since the whole concept was about how humans suck? And
Okay.
I guess the main character's test was when he was kind of fucking over the old man,
Yeah.
and he kind of like switched it up. And that was another thing I found out. I was just like, he's playing around.
Mhm.
Do you think if he was just like, nah, give me the marble, that the old man would have let him die?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
think so?
most
Oh
likely.
yeah, definitely. I think that
Even if I'm saying like, even if the old man was playing the game,
But
like,
that
he
was the
retarded.
part of the shit. That was his
yeah, but he hit that last one on purpose.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying like, yeah, I know he did that to save his own ass, but
Oh, you
a
saying
way.
if he wasn't the person?
like if he was playing like, oh, I don't remember, but the guy was just like, nah, you won, man. Like if he just like, you won, I'm not gonna do that to you.
He would have said.
Do you think the guy would have let him
what
die?
he would have been like just one more, all or nothing type of thing, and then
Just to test him a little bit more.
Yeah.
I just want to see if that was the thing, because the whole thing at the end with the at the hospital was him like, oh, if somebody gets this guy,
yeah.
then you know.
But the only
there's
reason why
faith
he
in
got back
humanity
in
and
touch with him is because what he did with the money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason. Otherwise, he would have never gotten back in touch with him. Like he would have just been like, whatever, you know.
But that was a lot of shit. That's a lot of pressure, man. That nigga, because like it's funny because like his boy, like when they did the Squid Game shit, and like I trust me, I went through all of that shit in my head, and I was just like, yeah, I'm a really dirty ass nigga, because I know as soon as I hit that nigga with the sand, I won.
Yeah.
Like I was there. I would just been like, my fault, my nigga, but it is what it is. You should have knew this was coming. like dead ass. Like that's just what it is. Like, but they fought, and then he second thought it, and he was very overly emotional, and that's why I was just like
the whole game.
I was like, I don't know if it's weak, but I was like, that's kind of like maybe that's why I would have probably been the friend that was dead, because I would have been so confident. But I was like, nah, because I would have been smarter. Because that motherfucker was too confident. He was standing there like, my friend's a bitch. Like, no, my friend could be smarter. You got to give your person somewhat credit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was just fun to me. I thought it was just a lot of all of that shit. Yeah. The husband and wife shit, that's another one that got me mad. Like, how do you not understand this money was going to kill himself? Homeboy really was there winning his games with his wifey.
Yeah.
And then was
but
there like, oh, you got to die now?
Game not knowing that they were both going to die.
No.
Or one of them was going to die.
No. Well, how you have to how do they rejoin the game?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand. They should have just been like,
one of us. Yeah.
Like,
I would have said one.
I would have been like, you need to hoard yourself out because you can't do that.
Nah, it's very sad. Nah, but they should have not went back in.
One kidney each.
We'll
sell one kidney each.
But that's the interesting shit about them, because that's the actual couple that went in there. Everybody else was single.
Yeah.
So that, like, once you realize people were dying, you should have knew.
What I thought was hilarious is how many people knew each other that were in there. So dirtbags hang out with dirtbags.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I mean,
way too many people in there.
When you're down and out like that, usually you're just hanging out with the same down and out. Yeah. Like, that is just what it is.